This is the evolution of the Chevrolet Corvette. 70 years ago, one of the most important cars in the history of American automobiles was born. At the General Motors Motorama show in 1953, Chevrolet presented its sports car for the first time, which had a more than positive reception. This was a convertible with 2 seats and fiberglass panels. The official launch of the new Corvette and its final version took place at the Chicago Auto Show in March 1953. 300 hand-built Corvette convertibles were produced, all in polo white. Under the hood was the blue flame 3.8-liter 6-cylinder engine, which developed 150 horsepower. This engine was heavily criticized by almost everyone, mainly because it didn't have enough power. By late 1953, Chevrolet had moved production of the car to St. Louis, Missouri. Thus, the 1954 Corvette adds 3 new paint colors: black, red, and blue. Also, 5 horsepower were added to the 6-cylinder engine. In 1955, it introduced a 4.3-liter V8, proving to be an improvement and a huge success. In 1956, Chevrolet came on the market with a slightly revised version. The front received classic round headlights with chrome rings, side slits for a more distinctive appearance, but also a more rounded back. Revisions also included exterior handles, windows that roll into the door panel, and an electrically operated folding sunroof. 1961 saw the introduction of a redesigned rear and the famous sports car's rear four-light design. For the second-generation Corvette launched in 1963 under the name Stingray, Chevrolet introduced an entirely new design. The Corvette C2 also stood out for its innovative coupe body style. Many considered it the most attractive model in the entire automotive history. Moreover, the Corvette C2 also introduced retractable headlights, and besides, the solid rear axle was abandoned in favor of an independent configuration. Inside, Chevrolet offered 2 seats in the front and a bench in the back, but with room for only 2 people. Under the hood, the C2 had a 5.4-liter V8 mated with 304 horsepower. Along with the base Stingray, Chevrolet offered a race-ready package, the Z06, for the 1963 Corvette. The Z06's V8 engine peaked at 360 horsepower. Of course, we cannot talk about the Corvette C2 without mentioning the extremely rare model produced in only 20 units. Launched in 1967, the L88 was an expensive option package that offered a 7-liter big block V8 that made 430 HP. The third-generation Corvette was launched in 1968 and was also the longest-lived. The Corvette C3 was called the Stingray, later became known as the Shark due to its long shape and aggressive styling. Under the hood, Chevrolet installed a 5-liter V8 and a 7-liter engine with 430 horsepower. In 1970, a new V8 engine was added generating 370 horsepower, and the big block was enlarged to 7.4 liters rated at 390 horsepower. The specialized CR1 package included the LT1 engine combined with special racing equipment. Only 53 CR1s were built. The next-generation Corvette was considerably sleeker and came with a newly developed frame. The 1984 C4 came with a boxier look, new single-lamp pop-up headlights, and a new hatchback rear window for easier access to the cargo area. Inside, the C4 was not so appreciated, because in order to reduce production costs, Chevrolet used less quality materials. Under the hood, a small-size 5.7-liter V8 was installed, which produced only 205 horsepower. In 1991, the exterior of the C4 was slightly revised, now offering a more modern look. Also, a new 5.7-liter V8 with 300 horsepower called the LT1 appeared under the hood of the Corvette in 1992. The fifth-generation Corvette was launched in 1997, with a new design, much curvier, but also with several innovations that include active handling, reduced weight, a drag coefficient of 0.29, and a 50-50 weight distribution. The long hood with 2 wide bulges on it, the fast backlook with the long rear windshield, and the short trunk made it unmistakable. This was also the last generation Corvette to offer pop-up headlights. The interior was typical of a sports car, but again cheaper materials were used. Under the hood, Chevy installed a new LS1 5.7-liter engine with 345 horsepower paired with either a 6-speed manual transmission or a 4-speed automatic. A convertible was introduced in 1998, and a fixed-roof coupe model was launched in 1999. In 2001, Chevrolet introduced a high-performance Corvette Z06 that came with improved power-to-weight, powered by a V8 which produced 385 horsepower. In 2002, the Z06 was even more powerful with up to 405 horsepower. The next generation Corvette was introduced in 2005, but the changes were not too big compared to the previous generation. The biggest change was to the headlights, which were fixed this time, but which helped reduce weight and aerodynamic drag. The C6 came with a more spacious interior thanks to a stretched wheelbase, and the plastic and leather used were of high quality than the C5. The 2005 Corvette came with a revised 6-liter LS2 engine that gave the Corvette 400 horsepower. For 2005, the Z06 returned with a 7-liter V8 with 505 horsepower. A year later, Chevy brought back the ZR1, which now had a supercharged 6.2-liter V8 with 604 horsepower. For 2008, the Corvette received a slight refresh, a new 6.2-liter LS3 engine producing 403 horsepower. At the same time, the Corvette Grand Sport returns in 2010, where the trim level combines the wide-body style of the Corvette C06 with the powertrain of the standard Corvette. Thus, it comes equipped with the hand-built 6.2-liter V8 LS3 engine. To close out the 6th generation, Chevrolet celebrated the 60th anniversary of the Corvette with a Corvette 427 convertible. It was equipped with the 505 horsepower engine from the C06. The 7th generation Corvette arrived in 2014, and it was the biggest change to the model in more than a decade. The new Corvette revived the Stingray name and was the last front-engine rear-wheel drive. The C7 had an aluminum frame, removable roof panel, and a carbon fiber hood. It also had the same pointed nose, a long hood, and aerodynamic greenhouse. At the rear of the car, the round taillights have changed to a more square shape. Improvements have also come to the interior, where we have a dashboard with a group of instruments with analog dials and a customizable TFT display. Also, the infotainment system was improved, which came on an 8-inch touchscreen. The 2014 Chevrolet Corvette features an LT1 6.2-liter V8 producing 455 horsepower and a 7-speed manual transmission. The Z06 made its appearance in 2015, being powered by a supercharged 6.2-liter V8 engine with 650 horsepower. It was available both as a coupe and convertible with an 8-speed automatic transmission or a 7-speed manual transmission. In 2017, the Grand Sport is back again, equipped with an LT1 engine that delivers 460 horsepower. The 7th generation is completed by the new and powerful Corvette CR1, which produces 755 horsepower from its 6.2-liter supercharged V8 engine. The 8th generation Corvette is still fresh, with the 2020 C8 being available in both coupe and convertible configurations of the base Stingray model. The exterior design is as spectacular as possible, with a stretcher-type body and a roof that can be removed and stored in the trunk. The interior comes with a new, driver-oriented cockpit. The dashboard instruments have been replaced by a configurable 12-inch display, and the steering wheel has a new design. The new Corvette is powered by a new V8 engine called the LT2 of 6.2 liters and developing 495 horsepower. The C8 accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers in an hour in less than 3 seconds. Also, for the first time in history, the Corvette will no longer be available with the manual gearbox, but only an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. What's more, Chevrolet is bringing back the Z06, available in coupe and convertible body styles. The 2023 Corvette C06 is equipped with a 670 horsepower 5.5-liter V8. This engine, the LT6, is the most powerful naturally aspirated production V8 engine. To highlight even more the evolution of the emblematic Corvette, after 70 years since the debut of its first generation, the Corvette comes for the first time in history in a version with an electrified engine. It's called the E-Ray, and it's the fastest Corvette, accelerating from 0 to 96 kilometers an hour in just 2.5 seconds and has all-wheel drive. 70 years have passed since the debut of the first Corvette, and since then, it has captured the imagination of sports car enthusiasts from all over the world. The latest C8 generation is living proof of the longevity of this series, which has a sacred place in the history of sports cars.